Hey, Dale. Chris Everett. Thank y'all for swinging by. Hey, Chris Garcia. No, I just got started. Just got started using goldfish for bait. Be all right. Well, other than being, I think I'm contemplated now, Bill. When I get home, I'm going to take some Miralax. But I had a doctor's appointment at 4 o'clock this evening, and I'm on a soft diet now. So I can eat mashed potatoes and baked fish and that kind of stuff for another week. And maybe I'll make a comeback all the way. I don't know. All this liquid diet I've been on since, well, I guess you say since Monday, a week ago. Uh, Ain't much coming out. I don't know any other way to say it. So we'll see. I wanted to go fishing this evening, so I went after I got out of the doctor's appointment. I wasn't gonna take no Miralax and come out here. I can put up with it another 3 or 4 hours already. Yeah. Well, I'm on a soft diet now, so that's better. That's twice as good. I'm going to drop this thing back down in the shade where I can see it. Yeah. Well, there's the link up there at the top if anybody wants to come up. I tried to pin it, but it don't work that way for me. I don't know how you pin the link up there at the top. Lord, all this dadgum text messages. Wind blowing gust up to 18, so I'm down on the hill trying to stay out of it. Caught a couple of flatheads right here. Well, I think we caught about 7 flatheads here the last 2 or 3 trips. But I don't know what's going to happen today. We'll see. I got, when Eric gets here, I may get my thermometer out and see what the water temperature is. Hey, Bobcat, I don't want to get that close to this water by myself because I'm on a straight up clay bank, sandy clay bank. It don't cave in, but just every once in a while, maybe once a trip. But I don't want to take a chance on it. Get Eric, let him fall in. Well, I guess I can go ahead and do it. Hey, Bill Wright, if I fall in the river, you're going to save me, aren't you? leave it in there a few minutes. Let it get in there, right? Hey, angler, green whale, Texas tiger. Yeah, 911 on speed dial. There you go. Yeah. If that bank was to cave in, I expect if I didn't have a heart attack, I'd probably be standing in about knee-deep water. But I imagine the panic. I imagine I'd press the panic button. Hello, Anthony. Doug, where? Downtown Ernie Brown. There's a link there if anybody up at the top, if anybody wants to come in. Maybe some of the moderators can copy and paste it down some. Because when I get to mashing buttons, bad things happen. All right, let me check that thermometer. Anybody want to guess what the surface temperature is of the Misipy River in Greenville, Mississippi? Thank you, Tex. Let's see. There's a 70, there's a 80, there's a 82. All right, on the count of 10. 10, 81. No, that's 82. Dang the glare. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 78 degrees. 4, 3. And there you go. 78 degrees. 78 degrees. There you go.
Hey, Steve, right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, Bill.
All right, I'm on here, brother.
You got something? You got an echo going, man. Yeah, I hear you, Bill. You got something else open.
I've got the echo off. Now, can you hear me?
You good now, bud? No, I hear something. I hear you. What? Good now, bud. No, hey, I hear something. I hear you. What?
All right, hold on 1 second.
Trying to catch.
All right, let me get out of this way.
All right, there we go. Got the layout. Who bought a glass bad on this phone now? And I'm in the shade. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Bill, you there? Catfish Whisperer. Hey man, doing good, Whisperer. Hey man, doing good.
All right, Steve, I think I'm back with you.
Yeah, you back.
Okay. I'm trying to turn the sound down on this stupid computer so I won't be any interference. Hold on. I'm trying to turn the sound down on this stupid computer so I won't be interference. Hold on. All right. Can you hear me?
Now, Big Papa. Who is Big Papa? Oh, hey, Big Papa. Hey, Jamie, golly, boy. How you doing? Oh, hey, Big Papa. Hey, Jamie, golly, boy. How you doing? I should have known that because that's what's on the side of the boat. Bill, sometimes you just have to kill the YouTube.
Yeah, I got you on the phone. I was going to do the YouTube. I was trying to get on the computer so I can read who's talking to you, but it looks like it's going to get some interference.
All
right, let me look at it.
Can't you just go up at the top and click that tab at the top left of your computer?
Yeah. All right, can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
All right, I just turned the computer off. I had them both on because when you're on the phone, you can't see your who's talking to you.
Yeah.
But yet when I turn the computer on the phone, you get all that ring back.
Yeah.
Plus, I never use my wife's computer ever.
You ain't got a mic on that computer?
Yeah, it's a mic on it. I was trying to turn it off. Let's see. I'm back on the computer. It's a mic on it. I was trying to turn it off. Let's see. I'm back on the computer.
Hey, just mute the volume on the YouTube tab. Mute the volume on the YouTube tab is what Fishing for Whiskers said.
Right. All right. You get any feedback now?
Nope.
All right, good. Maybe we got it. You get any feedback now?
Yeah. Now I am.
All right, good.
Getting it again.
All right, hold on.
Well, you more trouble than worse.
Tell me about it. You've been talking to my wife, haven't you? Hold on one second.
Let's see. Arrow over Steve's name. Move the arrow over Steve's name. I don't know what that means. Move the arrow over my name.
Oh, okay. I got it. All right. Let me turn it down. Hold on. Now. What about now?
I don't know. Let's see. When I talk,
I've got the sound down on my computer. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
All right, I've got the sound down on the computer now, so I don't have to worry about it. It shouldn't be any ring back.
I don't hear any. Can you read chat?
Yeah.
Well, keep
Yep.
up with it because it's gone
Okay, you
dark
got
on me.
Anthony. Oh, it has. You
Yeah,
got Anthony Duckworth. You got Catfish Whisperer. You got
Catfish Whisper.
Green. Yep.
Catfish Whisper. That's kind of close to
Yep.
you. He lives
Oh,
on.
really?
Yeah, he lives just south of the Arkansas River, west of Conway.
All right. You got Anthony Duckworth. You got Greenwell Fishing, and you got Tiger.
Yeah, I got all over.
Okay. Good deal. So, have you stopped bleeding and all that kind of stuff? Everything okay?
I don't know. You know, I ain't. I had Thursday night. I had quit, but that's the last time I've had anything to look at.
Hmm.
And so I got to take some back when I get home.
I have to go instead of the normal time. I got to go because every time they've gone in, they found polyps, but they removed them in time and nothing had been cancerous, but they watch it pretty close.
Well, I got the report on that today. They were malignant. I mean, benign.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that had a bit, but that was good news.
Yeah. In fact, I had to go to my cancer doctor. I have to go every 6 months. I have to go take blood. They do a PSA reading on it, and then I got to go to my cancer doctor and sit in his office until he comes in and then he looks at it. And he came in and said, "Yeah, everything is clear, everything is good." He said, "But I can't tell you you don't have cancer until you've been this way for 10 years. This is my second year of going to him, so you
Yeah.
have to go to him 10 years before they say no cancer. So who knows?"
Well, I didn't have to
I think,
go after mine. I didn't have to go, but 2 years. Every 6 months for 2 years.
well, he said that having prostate cancer, where you got your bladder and everything there, he said,
Right, right.
you remove your prostate, you could have one cell the size of a pin and it could grow. So he says he gets it all, but he said, I'm human like everybody else. He said, you've been there 2 years. And he said, normally after 2 years, it's the probability you have any issues are just very minimum. So they still want you. I think they like them office visits. I think they like that paycheck.
I hated when my oncologist turned me loose though, because she looked just like Barbie. And wore them little short dresses and that little white lab coat. If you don't have cancer, because I had sure enough stone pony for a doctor.
Yeah.
I miss her. All
I saw you. I saw you.
Chartreuse
Yeah.
King that have topped it off.
Really?
Yeah. That'd have been all I could stand. I'd have just died right there in the waiting room.
Well, my doctor, he's a guy, and his nurse looks like an old maid school teacher who's mad at the world.
Uh-oh.
You have to go in and give them a urine sample, and then they do a bladder ultrasound, and then she goes and takes my blood pressure, and I said, why are you taking my blood pressure? You know it's going to be high. I said, I'm sitting in the doctor's office waiting on a cancer report, and I'm supposed to be calm. Ain't no way, lady. My blood pressure is going to be high.
Hey, well, check this out, Bill. When they admitted me to the hospital Wednesday morning, I went through the emergency room out there, and they took my blood pressure. And you know what my blood pressure was?
What?
100/58.
100/58.
100/58. I told them, I said, y'all better do that again. Hell, my blood pressure ain't never been 100. And again, and they said, it's 100/58, Mr. Adams. I said, hell, I must be dead. Am I alive? I had that whole damn place laughing, man. I said, 100. I said, I take blood pressure medicine, and I ain't had a pill in 2 days, and my blood pressure's 100 over 58. I, I,
You got
dog it. Can you imagine a 75-year-old man with 100 blood pressure?
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And right before, I don't know, up towards dinner time, they come in there and checked it again, and they started drawing blood. And every time they draw blood, they check my blood pressure. And they come in there at about dinner time, it had gotten up to 118. And I still hadn't had my blood pressure medicine in 2 days.
Well,
I
something
said,
ain't right there.
well, it finally, today it was 135 over whatever, 80, I think it is, like it's supposed to be.
That gun.
I
You remember?
like a stroke.
You remember old Jamie Russell, don't you?
Oh, man, yeah.
I had to carry him to the doctor's office to draw blood. He
But Chad,
he
aren't you?
couldn't drive. He couldn't drive, so they took his
Me,
blood, and the nurse came back and said, "Jamie, all we get is Budweiser out of your veins."
I tell you, back in that day and time, there was a bunch of us that's all they'd have got.
Ain't that the truth?
You
I
keeping up?
guarantee. Do I?
You keeping up? You keeping up with chat?
Yes. You got Greenwell
No, if
fishing.
anybody new comes in or anybody asks a question I need to answer, ask Tim and Lena.
All right, I'll do it.
Hey, Tim. Yeah, man. Well, anyway, that's enough medical issues.
I saw you catch those two flathead. I mean, you were reeling in the fish when I got the message from YouTube saying the guy with the low blood pressure's on.
Well, that was, I hadn't been live a minute. I hadn't been live a minute. In fact, I was still putting the phone in the camera holder. The phone holder here on the tripod, and looked up the pole bent over. And I went on and did that, and then ran out there, and I must have thrown it right in his mouth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Of course, my fishing buddy did that right here a few nights ago. He uh, he put a fresh bait on and threw out
Yeah.
a little ways out there, and before he could get his pole in the rod holder, it like pulled it out of his hand.
Dang.
And they, a little old 5 or 6 pound flathead. But when flatheads, when they hit, when they hit it hard when they hit it. Once they take
Yeah.
it, but most of the time, they kind of fool around, and look at the bait, and pull on the bait, and scratch their belly, and I don't know what all they do.
I
But
was fishing with a friend of mine, and he's born and raised here, and we were fishing beaver, and we were fishing for crappie, and he threw a little live jig out and caught I guess it was about a 5 or 6 pound flathead, and he got it in the boat, and he took the hook out, and I looked at him, I said, "Man, you throw that fish in the water, you go in with it." I said, "I'm from Mississippi, that's one of my favorite fish." I said, "Especially out of this clear water."
oh boy, I
So
bet it'd be good.
oh man, I carried it home, and my son he's never eaten flathead. He's eaten, all the other fish, so I cooked it, and he came over and he said, "Man, that's the best catfish I've ever eaten." I said, "It is the best catfish."
I love it.
I do too.
Is Pontoon Jody still in here?
Yep.
Hey, there she is. Hey, Miss Canada. I saw you in that bikini the other day, girl. Out there fishing in a bikini. What kind of mess is that? Yeah, Jody, I looked at that. Let me see that line we were talking about the other night. I forget, offshore. Hey, I got to buy three and a half miles of it in 30-pound test. I why don't you roll some up on a stick and mail me about 200 yards? I can't go buy no 3 miles of fishing line. Yeah, I'm too old for that. I buy it 100 yards at a time, tie it together.
Tim Molina said he's never eaten a flathead in his life.
Oh, he's telling Tim Molina. Wait a minute now. I believe he's lying.
That's what he said.
Because I think he fishes with Chris Flores.
Downtown Ernie Brown said, Tim, it is good. Tell him how good it is.
Tim Molina may be telling a fib. I don't know. They throw him off.
CFM Queen says, hey, Steve, nice to see you.
Hey, girl.
Tim Molina said, no, sir, never have.
Really?
That's what he said.
Well,
where's your buddy? Where's your buddy? He coming out?
He's on the way. He gets off work at 4:30, and he had a little small plumbing job to do, and I got a text said he was on the way.
Yeah, you were fishing with somebody else the other day. You called him Doc.
Yeah, that's Charles Burton. You remember Charles Burton, the dentist here in town?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Got the big house out there on Tampa Drive.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be dang. I didn't figure dentists would do catfishing. That's just me.
Yeah, started now like me, and it sound like a honky tonk pulling up in here. That's my girlfriend. Come on, Stinky.
He done tried to jump out of the truck once today.
Don't you knock
once
it?
this evening.
She'll be all right. We live now, so you act like a preacher.
I can't do that.
What Pontoon Jody say? I'm trying to talk her out of 200 yards of that yellow fishing line.
I don't see any orange.
I put it on the reel, but I'm gonna put that reel on new pole. Supposed to be here tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I didn't bring but 2. I'm trying to get some yellow line and put it on that yellow, and then I'll have yellow, green, and orange.
I want to do the yellow. I don't think that yellow's gonna show up nearly as good as that orange.
But it looks so good sitting here looking at the reels.
Tell your partner I said hi.
As Bill Wright said, hello, Eric.
Howdy, Bill.
How you doing, man? Real and Virtual Outdoors said, tell Steve Adams to catch a flathead.
Hey, Troy.
Pontoon Jody said she used 50 pounds, Steve.
Oh, that's too much for me. But anyway, yeah, I looked at it just last night. I've been looking at line for 2 days. I ordered me. I got some of that orange whisker seeker, 30-pound tail. But I wanted a different.
That's what it's called, though. Whisker seeker.
Yeah, the orange line is whisker.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the name of it today. I was telling Wayne about it. Oh, I said
205 Wild Auction said, good luck. Get a big one tonight.
205.
Yep.
He
didn't get upset, did he?
No. Because, I mean, believe it or not, they really did kind of pick up after themselves.
Well, they must have been blind.
But, I mean, a lot of it was someone was throwing it in the fire, and them women just sneaked off and he didn't even know they went up the hill.
Well, I picked up paper towels up there, little wads of paper towels all the way across that yard up there where them gals been up there peeing.
Tell Eric not to get so close to the water. Catfish go see him and run.
He's less than a foot. He got them rods less than a foot from the edge of the bank.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, by 9 o'clock, he's going to be stumbling and falling out there trying to get.
Especially if you got some of that California Kool-Aid.
No, he ain't got none of that out west stuff. He's strictly red, white, and blue, man.
Oh, really?
Oh. How y'all doing this evening?
I need to give him, look in the camera. I let him decide whether I need to give you a quarter or not.
For a haircut?
No. My mom always told me if I run up on somebody uglier than me, give them a quarter.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
So I probably got to give you a quarter.
Steve, Tim Melinda said, tell Coach there are 32 people in here now.
32. It must not be anybody else live.
Said,
What's
yeah,
that lying about? Dallas, Leaper.
Danny Stone Outdoors said you have so many colored lines, it's going to look like you're fishing with a bag of Skittles.
Well, that's kind of my idea. Yeah, that's kind of my idea. I figured, but I wanted all 30-pound test.
Tim Melinda said you need to give Eric 50 cents.
Hey, 50 cents out of a quarter.
I just need a haircut.
CFM Queen says she's sending prayers to you. If you don't have any problem with cancer.
Okay, thank you.
Catfish Whisperer said you need to tell a story about catching the big catfish in your underwear.
Oh, yeah. Off of that rock dike that night. Yeah, man. I know that story on here.
Man,
Yeah.
that's got to be a good one.
Well, I'll tell it while we're sitting here.
All right, tell it.
I was camped up here. Oh, north up here. You remember what I used to call the Christmas tree hole, Bill? That big area right off of Tarpley where you pick up all them Nerf balls and everything.
Uh-huh.
Well, the dike right this side of it was a good place to camp and fish. It had a lot of sand on it, and it was in the woods. The end of the dike was still in the woods during certain water levels, and it was a good place to camp. Just up on top of the rock dike and set the rod holders in and flathead fish. So I was over there by myself one night because I've told these guys that when I fished at night out of the boat, I always fished all night. And I didn't travel on this river at night. But anyhow, I was camped. I had my little tent over there and generator and a fan and everything. And I always, when I camp, I always carry a 5-gallon bucket. And as soon as I get to where I'm on camp, I get me a dip of 5 gallons of river water and set it up there by where I'm going to put the tent. And by the time I got ready to go to bed, that sand settled out of the river water and it'd be clear as a whistle. And you could, sponge bath off before you got in that tent.
Yeah.
So I had to sat there and fished. I caught a couple of flathead, no big ones. And it didn't got on over after midnight. And I said, well, I'm going to bed. So I stripped down, got down in my drawers. I had my towel across the top of the tent. I had a wash rag. I mean, I did it right now, And I got in there and I put the towel in that wash rag down in that water. And I was real careful not to stir it up. I've got clean, as clean as you can get, you know what I mean? My legs. And I fished with them big old 309 reels, pin reel, and I leave a bait clicker on, and they real loud, so in case I got a fish, they wake me up. Well, just as I reached to unzip that tent to get in, had the fan in there and everything running. Just as I reached to unzip that tent to get in there, what that damn reel went, and I turned around, and that pole was bent plumb over, and I run grab the pole, and I said to the guy, I had a good fish. I mean, it was a good fish. And now I was barefooted, and my headlight was up there already. I'd already thrown my little old headlight in the boat, and I couldn't find the dip net in the dark, and I couldn't get the fish to come. So I jumped in the boat. I slid down the bank in the mud, untied the boat, and got out in the water out there with the fish. Now I'm in that big old eddy back there, in my drawers, sitting out there in the nighttime with no light. And you know, I don't know if Budweiser played a role or not, but I think it probably did. But anyway, man, I fumbled and stumbled and fell and all in that boat, and I finally got the fish up and couldn't see him. All I could do was hear him splashing. And I put the net in the water, and I picked the net up, see if I had the fish. And I finally caught him, and he weighed 35. I think it was 35 pounds, 31 pounds, 35 pounds. It was 30-something pound blue, but it was a blue.
Well, if you'd have heard banjo music, you probably wouldn't have got out of that boat and come back to the bank.
Tried to find a boat, I reckon. That's a mess, and I went back. I went back and got my light, and went back down. I weighed him and turned him loose. But yeah, if I'd have made America's Funniest Home Video, I'd have won the money if it had, been videoing it, because that was a heck of a deal. I forgot about that one. That was a good one, though. Yeah, at the worst time in the world.
We were fishing we'd gone down to Lake Washington, and we were hand grabbing. And it was my cousin Ray, and a couple of us was hand grabbing. And Jamie called, and he said, "Hey man," he said, "Do you mind if I come down there and go hand grabbing with y'all?" And I said, "No, Jamie." I said, "You just need to get out here in the morning early, because we're gonna go out early." So by the time we get the boat and everything ready, Jamie comes walking up and got his cowboy boots and his blue jeans on. So we go hand grabbing. He hand grabbed in his blue jeans and got a boot wet and all this. But anyway, so we'd fished almost to dinner time, and Wayne Reed had that little cafe down there at the time.
Right.
So Jamie said, "I can't go in there wet." And so Ray said, "Well," Jamie said, "I got some shorts and stuff in the trailer there." So Jamie goes in there, and he's got a pair of checkered shorts on, got a cowboy shirt on, and he got cowboy boots on. And so he come walking up, and I told Ray, I said, "I don't know about this. Maybe we can get him at a different table." And I started laughing. So we get in there and start eating. And the place is packed. And so we got through eating, and the lady said, "Well, I've got rice pudding for dessert." And so we said, "Well, we all like rice pudding." James said, "What's rice pudding?" So I said, "Well, you'll see when it gets here." So she sets that rice pudding down in front of us, and Jamie looks at mine, and he looks at his, and he looks back at mine, he looks back at his, and he said, "Ma'am," he said, "I don't know what you put in this rice pudding. If it's supposed to be raisins," he said, "mine just got up and flew off."
Oh, Lord, man. Oh, no.
I mean to tell you, boy. You can't.
Was he telling the truth?
I don't know. I wasn't. Ray and I were leaving about that time.
That's Ray Grissett.
Yeah, Ray Grissett.
Is he still around?
No, Ray died 5 years ago. He was hunting and had a major heart attack, and they found him in the woods.
Oh, I'll be dog.
Yeah, yeah. He was,
Yeah, but he was
you know,
tight. You could tell he could blow up on somebody pretty easy.
he
Not,
was, we grew up together. I lived at his house and he lived in my house. We stayed with each other just like brothers.
I really.
He was tough. I mean, he was tough.
Talking about it. He was. You keeping up with chat? Because I can't see.
They're talking about fishing in the ocean.
All right, good.
Yeah.
I ain't had a single strike.
Nothing. I said between 6 and 8.
Oh, you in that damn sawing table.
I had told the truth the other night.
Yeah, but
Well,
how many lies has it? What about that 14% of the night?
That lied the other night. It said 14%. We caught 5 fish.
And I caught almost half of them.
Yeah, mine equaled out to the 4 y'all caught.
Yeah, and I spent 6, 7, 8 hours over here too. I don't 2 hours, 2 fish in 7 hours. That ain't very good odds.
That's what you get when you bank fish. With a river, it can't make up its mind what it wants to do.
I guess you're right about that now.
Is the river still high, Steve?
Yeah. Yeah. 37 something.
I hadn't even been able to go crappie fishing up in northwest Arkansas because Beaver Lake, is controlled by a dam, and it's been so much high water and rains. The Corps of Engineer parks around Beaver Lake are flooded. And at one time, they had it wide open. I'm talking, they had all the gates open trying to get that water out of there. And now it's coming all to y'all.
Yeah, every drop of it comes right by here. What don't evaporate.
Yeah, it does.
And it's raining in Illinois and Missouri and Tennessee today.
Man, I'll be glad when I'm ready to go crappie fishing. It messed up my spring crappie fishing when they were getting ready to spawn because the water was so high. Water was high and cold, and even the boat ramps where we put in on Beaver Lake, a lot of those were underwater. So I didn't get to do any spring. I did a lot of trout fishing, but I didn't get to do any spring crappie fishing.
Well, we're going to have a big flathead spawn this year because the water's back up in the woods in a lot of places.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir. And that's where they're going to spawn, and up in these little old ditches and things. And the water's been up in them since, January?
Yeah.
Yeah, the water been back up in these woods since January. So we're going to have, and look, we've had since, 08 was the first big high water?
Yeah, I think so.
And we've had some tremendous flathead spawning years in the last 10 or 12.
CFM Queen said it's raining here in Ontario, Canada right now.
Yeah, I don't know where that water goes.
Dave Gretcher said, good evening.
Hey, Dave. I just cannot.
Danny Stone Outdoors, he says he pees in the river every time he gets a chance because he knows Steve is downstream.
Yeah. Danny Stone's a mess.
How come you got 2 rods? Eric only got 1 rod.
He's got 2. Let me turn this thing around a little bit where you can see it.
Okay. He got 2 too.
Oh, can you see my rods?
Oh yeah, I see all 4 of them now.
Okay.
How come your rod's so much prettier than Eric's rods?
Because I painted mine orange.
He's got number free time on his hand. He's bored.
That sounds like me. I've just got free time too.
Yeah. Well, you coming?
I was in Mississippi when you were having all your stuff done.
Oh, okay. You already been?
Yeah. I was there, and then I saw you were having you told me you were going to have it then. And so I just came in, and Debbie went to the anniversary, and then I meant to the school reunion. And my little niece, she graduated from Ole Miss, and she's a pharmacist there at the hospital.
Right.
And she bought her a new home, and she had a housewarming, and we all went over there for her housewarming.
I'm
gonna get a hold on. I'm gonna get a charger on this phone. I'll be right back.
All right. Yo, I'm gonna turn around here and see what I can see. David Garchar. Hey, I ordered 100 yellow glow sticks today.
Holy cow.
100 of them.
The long ones?
Yeah, the bracelets. And I also ordered a new pair of fish grills. Okay. I'm tired of them old iron things. They sprung themselves some sort of way. I sprung them when I was boat fishing, but I kept using them. The river's on a little old rise, I think.
Yeah, they ain't supposed to rise for the week.
Did you get Nixon fixed?
I got waiting on some. Kirk ordered me some 3/8 PEX pipe.
You gonna have to go around all that?
No, I'm gonna go through the lines that already exist.
Yeah. Oh, inside of them.
Yeah. That's why it's 3/8. If it was 3/4 line, I could use half inch.
Yeah.
It wouldn't affect it so bad, but
he had to make a call, didn't he?
No, I mean it's either that or go through his attic and down his walls. Hello.
Right.
Hello.
Indiana Chris.
All right. I've got a charger on this crazy thing.
All right.
I'm a member of Washington County Crime Watch. You know, they're in Greenville. I try to.
They had a hell of a shooting last night.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, man. Down there right off Reed Road, they started right there. I think 3 people got shot right there, and it ended up south of south of the hospital. They fought on the south side, on the north side, and then they retaliated on the south side.
What is wrong with these people?
All that gang mess.
I guess it's not gonna get any better, huh?
No, it ain't gonna get no better.
Well, you know, I was seeing where they finally got the money to put in that overpass around Greenville, that bypass.
Yeah, it'll show.
I didn't see them working anywhere on it.
They just got the money.
Well, what's going to happen to Greenville when they do that? I mean, my goodness.
It's going all the way in. It's like Shaw and Shelby.
Well, that's true, isn't it?
Sure, it's true. I told people that when I moved to Greenville in 1980. I told y'all up there at the Rack and Q.
Yeah.
That it ain't Greenville will be gone. Be gone.
They put it in. It's over.
Well, it'd be a motel and 4 or 5 Exxons out there at the Cloverleaf, but that won't be nothing in Greenville.
You know, when I was a kid, Steve, people drove from all over the Delta just to ride down Washington Street and Main Street and look at the big homes where the rich people lived. I mean, it was a show place. It was a beautiful place to live growing up when I was a child.
Well, anyway, I don't want to get on all that.
No, I guess so. I guess so. Yeah, he's liable to cause some stirrups on this thing.
But the only one that's going to survive any length of time is Cleveland. And the only reason for that is Delta State and Baxter's.
Yeah, that's true.
But the rest of the towns are going to be just like Shaw and Shelby and Drew and Roval and Rolling Fork and Hollandale. It'd be more plywood on the windows than it would be glass panes.
Yeah, yeah. I when I was in, every time I come to Greenville, Consolidated Catfish there in Isola,
Right.
I call my buddy works there, and I'll call her and I'll tell her I'm coming into town, and I said, look, I want some 3 to 4 ounce fillets. I want the own flavor. I want the good stuff, and I'll call her, and she'll if I call her today, I can go pick it up tomorrow. They'll clean it fresh and put it in a box and put ice on it, or I can bring it back home. And the catfish fillets they've always been just clean and white, no skin left on them. I do a lot of fish fries up here for my kids and other people, and I think I brought back 60 pounds.
Yeah.
Catfish fillets.
That's a lot of them.
That's a lot of them. I like flathead, I like catfish, I like crappie, but my favorite fish is I fish Norfolk Lake. You got Norfolk Lake, and then you got Norfolk River, which is like that's where you do all your trout fishing because it's below the dam and the water stays about 40 degrees. Well, years back, it flooded. The dam flooded. Water came over the dam back in the 70s. Came through the park. When that happened, they had stocked. They had stocked Norfolk Lake with walleye, and so those walleye got into the river, which is an invasive species. And of course, they're doing real well because they stock those lakes with trout, and then now, especially the Norfolk, they have what they call a minimum flow coming out of that dam. So you have crappie that spawn and actually grow there. They're not crappie that they raise in those habitats. It's their natural trout. But we control, and sometimes we do well and sometimes we don't. But I've caught several of those walleye. Have you ever eat walleye?
No, I've always heard they're real good.
Oh my goodness. We normally catch 5 or 6 a year because fishing the Norfolk River, there's no limit, no size limit because they're invasive species. So you can keep whatever you want to keep and as many as you can catch. They're hard to catch. But when you do, boy, that's probably my favorite fish. I love that walleye.
What's going on in the chat?
All right. Did you just say walleye and trout? Yes, I did. I do a lot of trout fishing and walleye fishing in Northwest Arkansas. Walleye is delicious. This is Lance, Hawaiian fisherman.
Lance McCouguy.
Yeah, McCouguy. Okay, he said yes, delicious. Walleye taste amazing. Rich, I just smashed a bunch in Beulah Falls. That's CFM Queen, so she must have caught a bunch of them. The guy I fish with, Carl, is 82 years old. He's from Canada, and he was a preacher, but on his off time, he was a big game guy for bear, moose, mule deer. I'm talking some of them trips you get in a canoe and you stay gone 2 weeks where there's no roads or anything. That's what he did. He's hard nosed. And then in the summertime, he was a fishing guide. And so he heard about Norfolk River and how good the trout fishing was. So he came down here about 20 years ago and fished it and moved here.
I'll be.
Yeah, he's from Canada. But he said, man, we can go to Canada. I said, we'll catch all the walleye we want. I said, boy, that sounds good. I said, I'll bring an ice chest full. He said, no, you can't bring but 2 back.
Oh,
That's all Canada will let you come across the border with. They just won't let you do that. That's what he said.
hey, Lance, I gotta ask Lance a question. Lance, about a month or so ago, you were talking about that line that's a small diameter, the 30-pound test line. That was a small diameter. Is that that was the whisker seeker line you were talking about, wasn't it? It's 0.45 millimeters.
He's not saying anything yet.
Yeah, it's a delay. If he's in here, he'll answer me.
He said, whisker seeker, 30 pound. Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, that's what I bought a spool of it. I got it. I didn't bring it today, but I got a whisker seeker rod coming tomorrow, and I'm gonna put the reel on that pole.
Does your wife know you're ordering all this stuff, Steve?
Yeah, she gets it goes direct as soon as I ordered it. It sends her a message.
Sounds like my wife.
Yeah.
I hadn't written a check in 35 years as far as a personal checking account.
I don't spend a penny she don't know about. But she spends a bunch of them I don't know nothing about.
That's exactly right. There you go. There you go. Debbie, she worked with, she was an agent with the government, my wife, and when she was 50, she's they came to her, the government was offering buyouts, and so they offered her a buyout she couldn't refuse to take. So Debbie is 65, fixing to be 66, and she's been retired since she was 50.
There you go.
I retired I'm 70, fixing to be 71, and I was 62 when I retired. I've been retired since I was 62.
I did too. I did the exact same thing.
Lance, Hawaiian fisherman, Mr. Steve, did you use my address for that whisker seeker rod?
I sure didn't, Lance. I didn't know you had a. No, I didn't use your address. I used my address. I thought you say discount code. But I'll buy you one next week. They sell a little miniature one for $4.99. I'll have one sent to you. How about that? It's one you can put on your you can put it on your desk.
Yeah, I saw on Facebook. I saw that website for that whisker seekers. I guess is what it was.
Right. Yeah, I like it because it's small diameter. And that my second pole got a bite.
You ever tried to use braids, Steve?
No, man, don't be cussing on here. You can't use braid in this road.
No.
Too much stuff on the bottom to snag on.
Oh, really?
To snag that line, to nick it. And if you ever nick it and don't catch it, next time putting pressure on that line, that puked. I used it for 18 months on all my rods when I was boat fishing. And I lost probably lost 3 of the biggest fish I on. And
like all my ultralights, I use 4-pound fluorocarbon when I'm trout fishing. Even when I'm crappie fishing, I do the same thing trout fishing. But if you're fishing Lake Norfolk and they're running 2 generators of water, I mean, you're talking more current you got there in that river, and it's in a area, from one side of the bank to the other ain't but about 100 yards.
Right.
And so when you hook 17, 16, 17, 8-inch trout, they fight like a brim on steroids anyway.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to reel into that current with that 4-pound test. I mean, sometimes it's, you have to do like you do. I have to follow them in my boat just to catch them because the current is so strong. Plus the fish is so strong. They're a lot of fun to catch.
I've
and
been
a whole lot. Do what?
I've been trout fishing 3 times.
Did you go with a guide?
Well, I went every time I went, we went with a fella that fished up there all the time. He wasn't from up there. He lived around Jonesboro.
Mm-hmm.
But he went up there all the time. So he knew the ins and outs, We caught trout every time.
When I fish, though, I fish totally different than most of them do. Of course, a lot of them are starting to do what I do, but I troll. I fish with 4-pound test line. I use a lot of Rapalas, and I use a lot of flicker shads. And they're a good sized lure, and you catch a lot more bigger trout. Not only that, you catch walleye too. So I never fish corn or any bait or anything. I always fish with lures. Just depending on what they're hitting that day.
I don't remember what we use for bait. I really don't. After the first time, I'm going to be honest with you. The first time I went up there, and we were Mountain Home or Mountain View or Mountain something or other.
Mountain Home, probably.
And we filled the coolers up, whatever the limits were. I don't know but we caught, it was 6 of us. And I don't know how many of them damn things we caught, but we caught a pile of them. And so one of the fella that carried it, that was kind of our guide, been up there all the time. He said, and they cooked them up. And I'm going to tell you, I just soon get down on my hands and knees and take a bite out of this sand with some of this nutsedge in it. It didn't, if you put ketchup on it, it tastes like ketchup. We put lemon on it, it tastes like lemon. If you put hot sauce, it tastes like how you did it, man. So from then on, when I caught them, I just threw them back in the water. I just was up there because it was a free trip.
Well, the ones I catch are at least 17 inches, and the meat is pink, just like a salmon. And I don't fry it. The only thing I do with mine, and it's really, if you've never tried it like this, then I don't like them fried. I don't like them baked. The only way I like them is I make a brine, and I use water and salt and chili flakes and brown sugar, and then I put them in that brine overnight. Yeah. Then I take them out and I put them on my pellet grill, and I smoke them for about 7-8 hours at a real low temp over cherry wood.
Okay.
And that's good. That's about the only way I like them too. But I love catching them. It's just a lot of fun.
Well, he cooked them 2 or 3 different ways. He had a grill there, and he had some other stuff. I don't know, but it just didn't. It was like eating toilet paper to me. It didn't taste like nothing.
You go to a store and try to buy them crazy things, they $15-16 a pound. It's crazy.
And something else I don't eat is salmon. I'd starve to death, I reckon, before I'd put that crap in my mouth. And that's another story, but I ain't gonna tell it on here. It's too.
Yeah, I'm a catfish. I like. I have a piece of property. It's called Bella Vista, Arkansas, and Bella Vista. It's I don't know how to explain it, but it's got 7 golf courses on it, and it's got 10 or 20 lakes on it, and it's got a place. I go on a building lot there. I've had the building lot for years, but back when I played golf 2 or 3 times a week, I did it to where I could play golf and fish out there. But they have something there called a red ear. You ever heard of a red ear brim?
Yeah, kind of like a brim. Yeah.
Well, this is a red ear, and it's big old chinkapins we used to catch in Lake Ferguson and those places. Well, it's bigger than that, and that's a pretty good eating fish.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like brim and crappie, catfish. Hell, I like buffalo.
Right out of grease.
Yeah, as long as it's hot. I don't like it cold.
You got to know how to cook it. Buffalo. My grandfather, boy, he loved buffalo ribs. That was one of his favorite fish.
It ain't nothing wrong with it. I'll tell you that.
My little brother Todd, he lives in Alabama there at Orange Beach,
Yeah.
and he got a car lot. He's got a car lot. And he's got a couple of portable building lots that he sells, and he's got one of them boats has got 200 motors on the back of it, and he does a lot of fishing. But I went down there, and we caught redfish, we caught drum, and we caught red snapper. Now I love red snapper and redfish. It's a white meat. It's flaky, and you ever had any?
Yeah.
I've had redfish.
Yeah, that's saltwater fish though. I like that kind. I like all that.
Yeah, boy. I'll bring back several pounds of it when I go to visit him. But
I'd get very far from the Floribama if I made it that far south. In fact, I know I wouldn't. They put Floribama down there. They probably got a sign that says "Welcome, Steve Adams."
You been there?
How many times?
Really?
I've been to the beach down there twice, but I've been to the Floribama 400 times.
Where's the Floribama?
Well, I'll be dang.
Right there at Orange Beach, Alabama, down there south of Mobile.
Okay. Yeah, it's the Alabama-Florida line. That's what they call it, Floribama. That's what I understand. I went by there. My little brother carried my wife in there. We went through there, but I've never spent much time there.
Fun place.
When you go, you only got so many days, and we fish just about every day I'm there. So, and his son, he owns a big fish market, and then he also owns a big bait shop. He sells bait to all these guides and stuff.
Yeah.
But raw oysters, you like raw oysters?
Ooh, do I?
Man, I'll call him and he'll get them fresh. I mean, they catch them, they clean them, and they put them in a box. Oh man, they're good. I love raw oysters.
Hello, Robin C. That's a new name to me. I don't know that name.
Robert C. Do you ever eat walleye?
Robin C.
He wants to know, do you eat walleye?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I probably would if somebody gave me one, but I never have. I've always heard it was delicious.
Yeah, Robin C. said that somebody gave her husband 3 of them, and she carried them home and cleaned them and cooked them, and she said it was the best fish she's ever eaten.
I have heard that. I used to have he's gone now, but I had a friend that came down every year from Kansas, up around Manhattan, Wamego, Kansas. He came down and we fish out here when I was boat fishing. And he always talked about walleye. He caught them up there in northern Kansas. And he always talked about how good they were. But I never had the opportunity to catch one. I don't reckon. If I've ever caught one, I doubt that. Because I wouldn't say they're not in the Misipy River, but I never have seen one.
I don't know. I know here at Beaver Lake has them, but I think you can only catch 2, and they got to be 21 inches. I can't remember exactly what the law. I mean, the rules change every year, and they're hard to catch. I mean, it's unless you do it, it's like catching catfish. You do it all the time, so you know how to do it and when to do it and where to do it and what to use. Same way with walleye. They're hard to catch.
Yeah. I don't know. I know them hard to catch fish. Sometimes you got to use a DuPont spinner, and it works pretty good. Always. Bill, there's a river that comes in Helena, Arkansas, called the St. Francis River. You know the St. Francis?
I've heard it at St. Francis. I have.
It's a flathead river. It's primitive. It had never been channelized or nothing. The last 15 miles of it anyway. And every time the water comes up, trees fall in, fall to reach the root wads and they fall in the river. I mean, it's just timber everywhere. And you catch about 10% of the flatheads you hang, you are able to land because you fishing in like a log pile, But
Really?
there's lots of them in there. Well, one day there was a bunch of us up there and 3 or 4 boats. And so we rode all the way on down to the Misipy River, just be doing something in the middle of the day. And we got out to where it joins the Mississippi right there at Helena. Well, just north of Helena, a mile or 2. And we circled around looking, and I was looking on my depth finder, and I guess everybody else was too. And we got on back up there to the camp, back up the river. And somebody made mention, did y'all see all them big fish on the sonar out there at the mouth of the river? I said, man, there was some monsters laying down on the bottom of the river. And it was. I mean, I saw them and everybody else saw them. So I'm not going to name any names, but I got a good buddy. He went back down there a day or 2 later. And, well, a week or 2 later and fished the mouth of that thing. And he sat there all day and up into the night and didn't get a single bite. And he looking at all them big old fish on the sonar, on the depth finder. And he couldn't get a single bite. Well, he happens to be one of these real innovative fellas, and he can make a stick of dynamite. He puts it in some kind of a tube, and he makes his own fuses and everything. So he said, hell, so he went back down there on a weekday as a bite, first pole. He went back down there on a weekday, and he made a double supercharge. about like 3, he said. And he made his up weight and everything to sink it to the bottom, put a fuse on it, make sure it burn and go to the bottom. And he said when that thing went off, it just went room right there on top of the water. He was going to find out what the damn fish were. He said that buffalo and gar and carp and them damn jumping carp. He said it was every kind of damn fish in the world come up to the top. There wasn't a single catfish in the bunch. But he found out what was down there.
My grandfather's, he farmed in Alabama. And he wasn't a fisherman or hunter, but had a big old lake on his property out there that he had leased some farmland. It's a huge lake. And so they had dynamite and they were blowing up beaver dams. And so one of his workers said, Mr. Bobby, let's get in the boat and go out here and drop some of this dynamite down in this lake, see if we can get us some fish. So my grandfather said they were lit the dynamite and threw it out and said it went off and said crappie and brim and bass, and said they were just, his helper was just putting it in the boat and said, look up, my game warden come up. He said, Mr. Bobby, what are you doing? He said, I'm fishing. He said,
oh, no, don't lie. And he handed him a stick. Go ahead.
That's what he said. He said, it's illegal to fish with dynamite. I can give you a ticket. Papa said he lit one through in the boat. Said, you go write me a ticket or fish?
There you go. There you go. You're on the line now, see?
Went on Facebook the other day. Guy up in Virginia fishing. Game warden come up. And he's old hillbilly. Game warden didn't like hillbillies. He goes, sir? He said he was duck hunting, had a couple of ducks thrown in the back of his truck. Game warden come up. He goes, sir? He said, you got a hunting license? Yes, sir. gives him the hunting license for Virginia and everything else. He's like, all right. Well, he reaches over in the back of the truck, grabs one of the duck, smells his butt. He goes, well, this ain't a Virginia duck. This is a Kentucky duck. You got a Kentucky hunt license. Yeah, so he reaches in his pocket, pulls out a Kentucky license. And game warden just
Hey, they can't hear you now.
all right, y'all hold up.
Boy, y'all done got the line now. Yeah,
You remember old James Watson, don't you?
sure I do.
James Watson was squirrel hunting, and then he come back in. He had 9 squirrels. Game warden looked at him and said, "Where's your gun?" He said, "I don't have a gun." He said, "Well, how'd you kill them squirrels?" He said, "I uglied him to death."
Yeah,
He said, "I used to carry my wife, but she tears them up too bad."
Hey, go ahead and finish your joke.
Anyway, game warden he has the Kentucky license, and game warden reaches over and picks up the other duck. Smells this behind. He said, "Well, this ain't a Kentucky duck. This was a Tennessee duck. You got a Tennessee hunting license?" He pulls out a Tennessee license. The game warden's getting frustrated and everything else, and picks up the third duck and smells it behind. Says, "This is a West Virginia duck. You got a West Virginia license?" Hands him a West Virginia license. He goes, "I don't know, but where in the heck are you from?" Dropped his britches down, bent over. He said, "I don't know. Smell my butt.
Tell me.
You the expert."
Yeah, you the expert.
He's the expert. And that really, I think that might have just been a dog.
I don't know, but he pulled on it, and I something hit both of my poles. I don't know whether I need to reel up. You had your bait was still on there, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think. Let me look at the chat, Bill. I think Bill he ain't let the chat. Everybody done got upset with me because Bill ain't tending his business. He don't realize
Well, I mean, nobody. They're talking to each other right now. They're talking about how pretty the dog is and how ugly y'all are.
he's supposed to be. Yeah, I'm gonna have to dock your pay, man.
Yeah. Come on. Don't make me put that collar on you tonight. Keep you away from the poles and the hook. Hey, come here. What you fishing for out there, Coach? Liam Brown.
I had 2 bites and got over.
These are what are they doing the job?
Oh, big boy. You didn't get this big goldfish out here, did you?
I don't think so.
Ha! Come here, buddy. Aha! Look here.
Yeah, I felt him in there. It's that time of the day. They ought to.
Come here. Come.
Back up. She got that tail. She's standing back there pouncing and barking. Got that tail just a wagging. I believe my dog's addicted to fishing now. Take these off now.
I know she's addicted to swimming.
Well, yeah, I know that.
She ain't got this swimming in her blood, boy.
Uh-huh. I threw her in when she was about 3 months old.
What'd you see the other day? She was headed across the river, I believe.
Steve, I hate to say this, but the dog is getting more attention than y'all. Everybody's talking about how pretty the dog is and how ugly y'all are. So the dog is a hero.
Yes. Get a quarter. She's a good dog. She's a young dog, but she's a good dog. She's half Catahoula, got way more Catahoula than Boxer.
Oh, yeah. Full rotten.
Yeah, she's spoiled rotten.
He hadn't given her anything else to drink, has he?
No, I don't care. Tell you what she's bad to do now. She got one bad habit that and she'll curl up in that net and lay down and go to sleep. She likes to curl up. Yeah, she likes it. I don't know why, because he don't even have a dip net. But as soon as I threw that net on the ground, she'll get in that net sooner or later today. Once she winds down a little bit, she'll get in that net and sit down, and then she'll lay down.
I'll bet.
But he got a bed. He brings a bed for her. He's the only person I know that brings a bed with him to the lake riverbank.
So he does all this extra stuff for the dog, but I never see him do any extra stuff for you. What's going on there?
He don't do a damn thing for me.
I really pole load up.
Yeah, he loads and stuff up for me, and he does a lot of the leg work for me. He's an asset.
All right, okay, all right then.
There's a bed.
See?
There's a bed. He has to get the bed out to keep her out of the dip net.
Well, she's a work dog. She goes on. She spends more time with me usually than she does at the house. So I take her to work when I can, and also she's got to have something to lay down in.
I don't know if they can hear you or not.
Yeah, we hear him. Canadian fisher musician said that she smells the fish scent. That's why she lays in it.
There he is. Oh no! Let go. Still there? Come here, babe. Come, Angel. Come. All right, that's it.
You miss him?
Yeah, he's trying to loose.
Come here. Come. Come here. Right now. Come. I told you we're gonna break you this.
Yeah, he turned it loose. Must have been. I believe.
Think he got you bait?
I believe it was a big old gar. I know he got it. That big goldfish. Dang.
Yep.
Come here. You went from the biggest goldfish to the smallest one?
I just went. I just went, Eric.
You got the first one in there, huh?
So I grabbed the first one, got in my hand. Dad gum, I hate that. If it was a guy, I sure hate it.
Mm-hmm. Like me and that brim Friday night.
Yeah, he was still bouncing on. So that probably was a guy. I'm guessing that's what it was. Hey, Rick. Rick, man. Nice shirts. Short shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was up fairly close to the bank, too. Who knows?
How much weight? How much weight do you use on those lines, Steve?
I got about 6, 7 ounces on both of mine. I don't know what you got, Eric.
I think I've got 5 or 6 on one.
5 or 6 in the current.
I think I got 3 on the light pole.
Yeah, and we in the back current, and I could put. I imagine 10 or 12 might hold it straight out, but we let it drift, throw out and let it drift around to the ledge.
Yeah. Yeah. So you either throw straight or cross. You don't ever throw into the current, right?
No, don't ever throw up. Well, Eric does, but I don't.
Yeah. Either throw up current or down current or straight out. Just depends.
Eric's got both of his up current.
Well, they're actually down. Well, yeah, they are up current right here, ain't they?
But both of my lines are going. His lines is through. He threw upstream, and his lines are pointed to the right. Mine both are pointed to the left.
I got you. You're throwing out about how far from the bank, Steve?
Not very far.
30, 40 foot.
Yeah, well, probably further than that. One pole. Your pole.
How deep is it out there?
30, 40 foot.
I imagine that water's 20, 25 feet.
I got you.
Fishing. It's not over 25 feet deep. I picked that rod up with the cork on it to come over here to throw out there to see how it, but see, flathead fishing, we fish shallow anyway.
Yeah.
Especially with the water rising like it is. We don't throw out very far flathead fishing. Those flatheads will come sculling right along the edge of the bank looking for frogs and crickets or whatever. And blue's a little bit different. You can throw out there.
Flathead eats all live bait. Is that correct?
No. That's a old wives tell you.
Do prefer
That's not true.
No, we use live bait because they prefer it. We think on the Mississippi down here.
Right. Indiana Chris said, see you later. Take care, Coach.
All right, Chris. Thank you for stopping in, bud.
How late you go fish?
I don't know, 8:39.
Yeah, about
Oh,
dark.
A little after dark. Hour, maybe 45 minutes after dark. Eric got to get up and go to that old dirty word in the morning.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Where y'all working, Eric?
Woodman of the World Road.
Woodman of the World Road. Well, you right out there by, don't you?
Yeah.
What y'all doing out there?
We're building a handicap ramp.
Handicap ramp. Well, y'all get that done tomorrow.
No, we won't. I don't think we're waiting on metal for the roof. We're gonna put
it's gonna have a cover now.
No, he's got a porch that we ran the ramp into, and we're gonna put a roof over the porch.
That ain't for Buddy Bussy, is it?
I don't know. It's if you're coming off of Glendale.
I don't know Glendale.
Glendale's the one that runs down by the racetrack. By
Yeah.
Temple Baptist.
Yeah.
You go in that way and turn on Woodman of the World and go all the way down. He's the last trailer on the right.
You got that pasture and all out there.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Used to be. Don't
Steve,
fall.
they said they didn't hear you say no old dirty word. You hadn't mentioned Ole Miss one time.
Oh hell, who said that? You? Hey, Bug Man. Did Ole Miss win the regional?
Yeah, they beat Arizona.
Yeah, they was playing Miami. Who were they? Okay, so they won the regional.
They were playing earlier. They were ahead. I was been watching it all afternoon. Arkansas plays tonight. They play Georgia Tech. If Arkansas wins, then they go. But if those idiots would have just won the last game they played, would have had the Super Regional here and made lots of money. But that's baseball. You know how that goes.
Yeah. Well, I think whoever Ole Miss was playing they had to beat Ole Miss twice. I think Ole Miss went through undefeated. I think that's what I heard Case say.
Yeah, they were ahead. The game should be over, so I'm sure they won it. I think they did go undefeated. The game was delayed for quite a while, some kind of weather or something. I don't know. It just said because what they do to you is they put a lot of this stuff on this ESPN Plus where you have to buy it to watch the games.
Yeah.
Always want you to spend money.
Well, anyway, Ole Miss, the LSU will host the regional anyway.
Alabama. They said if Ole Miss won, didn't Alabama was going to host one? They were saying they were giving all these scenarios. I didn't.
I thought on Facebook that if Ole Miss won and LSU won, LSU would host the Super Regional. Now, I don't know. I ain't kept up with it. I'll be honest with you.
I've watched most of the games. Arkansas, Georgia Tech had to beat Arkansas twice. They beat them yesterday. Sunday, so they got to turn around and beat them again today. So Arkansas started out ranked number 4 in the nation, number 3 in the nation, and then lost their last 8 games they played. I don't know what happened. It's just baseball. That's what happened.
Oh, he's resting some of the boys, probably.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Van Horn, ain't that his name? He knows what he's doing.
He knows exactly what he's doing. In fact, they just gave him a raise, making $1 million a year now. Gave him a raise this year, I think it was. Yeah, I don't understand that. You got our football coach, Sam Pittman, good guy, real good guy. Sam's a good guy. $5 million a year to coach football. That's crazy.
Oh, well.
I guess when you're good, right?
I guess when you're good, you're good.
When Nick Saban makes almost 9?
I don't know, but I know what I'd do. If I could sign me one of them $9 million contracts and I'd have it written up the way I wanted, the first thing I'd do is get caught with a cheerleader and get my money run.
Well, if you got to give that $9 million to your wife to make things right.
No, I'd give $1 million just to say we was together. Cheerleader, I'm talking about. No, I don't want to get what I just wanted to say we were.
Oh, I got you.
My contract didn't kill me. It didn't take money. Fire me. Just give me the money. Show me the money.
I believe I could retire on $9 million. I've retired on way less than that.
Tell you, I could make it.
I could retire on $4 million.
Hell, I'm making it on $13,000 a year now.
Tell me about it. My wife has a federal retirement, and then when I left Sears, I could see the writing on the wall when Kmart bought them out, and I said, talking to my stockbroker and my accountant, and he said, I just don't see Sears making it. So I got a letter from them since I was in management with them, and they said, we're going to offer you a one-time buyout. We're going to offer you this money. You got to let us know something within 30 days. So I sit the wife down and I said, well, when I turn 65, I can't draw this money until I'm 65, and this is what I draw. And if I draw one check and die, you don't get anything.
Yeah.
And so I took the buyout from them. And of course, you get a little bit of money, you can't put it anywhere to make anything anymore. The CDs are horrible. So I put in an annuity, which is doing a little better than everybody else. But we only get a raise because all of our monthly income is federal retirement. And when you're a federal retired, you get the same raise Social Security does. And Congress, they hate Social Security.
Oh yeah.
And so, it's tough. I don't know what's going to happen if all this stuff keeps going up. Steve, you got a young man and his wife and a couple of kids. It's hard.
It's impossible. And $5 gallon gasoline in Mississippi.
Same thing here. I put that non-ethanol for my Honda boat motor. I always use non-ethanol. I carried a 5-gallon can up there, and it was $20-something, $26 or $27 to fill a 5-gallon can up.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, I bought 2 gallons the other day for my lawnmower. Damn near $10.
All I can say is, and I ain't gonna go. I don't like to talk about politics, but everybody better go vote in November. Is all I can say.
Yeah, I can't wait to vote for another Democrat. Yeah. In fact, vote twice, just so I can make sure. If I vote twice for a Democrat, it count 4 times. And that's enough about that, I guess.
Yeah, it's a bad deal. I don't know. You got a lot of people way on the left and a lot of people way on the right, and there's no in between anymore. There's no, I don't like how you vote. I don't like how you live, but I don't hate you. Well, that's gone. Everybody now is there's no center ground. There's no understanding between the left and the right. Now, I guess I don't know if it's going to get worse, I guess.
Well, anyway, I'm on the downhill side of it. The young folks are the ones gonna have to live with it.
That's what I told. That's what I told my wife. I said, I don't know if we'll see how it's all going to play out, but I got a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old and a 13-year-old and 10-year-old and a 7-year-old grandkids, and I'm going, oh my goodness, I don't know what's going to happen there.
Well, I ain't leaving a damn thing to my kid.
When they bury me, I'm gonna write a bad check. It's gonna bounce after they put me in the ground.
Whatever I got, that's what it's gonna cost to bury me. Whether it's $2,000 or $30,000, I'm gonna spend it all on me going out.
I got a feeling you ain't gonna be able to make those decisions.
I'm gonna have to work till the day of my funeral. As a matter of fact, I may even have to help them bury me.
Right.
Throw dirt on top of them.
There you go.
Robin C. said, what gas costs is hard to make a dime. You're exactly right. She's exactly right. So it's nationwide. Bugman said, silver conversation is gone. It's amazing people will not even talk if they have different political views. And that's true. It's no discussion anymore.
That's because the political views are so far apart, man.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, there ain't no common ground. I mean,
nope.
Brother Dave Gardner said he knew it was going to happen when they invented the TV.
That's when you have two people that have total control of what you watch on TV, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, ESPN, when they have total control of what they want you to see, then That's the downfall as far as a free republic. That's just the way it is.
Like state-run TV.
Yep. See the towboat going by there, huh? That's a small one, isn't it?
That's one of the harbor boats.
Yeah.
He going up in there. Just, I don't know, no telling. He may come back out after a while with a barge or something.
They still got all those barges and stuff in Lake Ferguson.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure they do. I hadn't been up in there, but I know they do.
Let me ask you a question. Ask Eric, how come a plumber is building a? He said he was building a handicap. How can a plumber build a handicap wall?
He he works for a contractor.
Oh, okay.
Doing carpenter work, and he does a little of the plumbing if they have any, but he does a lot of the plumbing on the side.
I got you.
I know that actually does plumbing. That's plumbing companies won't pay anything. They want a plumber, but they want to pay plumber helper pay. I ain't working for that.
I got you. Boy, that boat's kind of close here, ain't it?
Yeah. Well, he ain't that far out there.
If I'm gonna work for helper pay, I'm gonna work at something that I'm not that good at.
That's the reason I had to pay. That's the reason I get to pay him helper pay catfishing.
And give him quarters.
Well,
I don't know. I do believe I've caught the biggest fish so far this year.
that's because you fish all the time.
It usually will.
Tim Molina said I need to give him 50 cents.
Why Friday night told me I need a haircut. Right now I need a fish.
You know, I ain't had a haircut since in the barbershop since June 11th, 1979. June
I haven't had it.
1979.
My wife's been cutting mine for 20 years or longer.
Kay cuts my hair.
My grandfather cut mine all my life.
Hello, Ashley Brady.
When he passed away and quit cutting hair, well, it's just hard to pay for a haircut. I go get one about once a year.
Well, my wife spends all the money so she can cut my hair for free. She made a mistake one time back in the early 70s. I was farming. I went to the barbershop and got a haircut real quick. I was coming through town off the farm and hot and greasy and nasty and sweating. And I guess he did botch it up. But anyway, everything wasn't going right. And I got home. She was bitching about the way my hair looked. And I said, well, you can cut it from now on. Suit yourself. Because I don't care how it looks. I shave it all off. And so she's been cutting my hair ever since back in the 70s.
Bugman said in 1979, that's when the Flowbee was invented. Jimmy Graham said, good evening, Coach.
Hey, Jimmy.
Jimmy who? Grimes?
Graham. Yeah, I remember the Flowbee. I didn't ever have one, but I remember.
Yeah.
My wife Kay used to cut my hair with the same clippers that we cut the Cocker Spaniel with.
Oh my goodness. I don't believe I'd tell that, Steve.
Sure did. And old Buster hated a haircut. Lord have mercy. We'd have to carry him out. He was a blonde Cocker Spaniel. And we'd have to put a muzzle on him and everything else to keep him getting eat up. And stand him up on the table outside.
Well, Jimmy wants to know how many fish you caught.
About like always, Jimmy. Now, does that tell you anything? We got one dog and no fish.
And a redneck in Arkansas helping you talk.
There you go. And Misipy Arkansas redneck talking.
There you go. I was talking to a friend of mine. He said, man, when you cross that line in the Mississippi, he said the IQ in both states goes up.
You're both states. There you go. I didn't get to finish. Coach never paid for a haircut again. Okay. No,
Yep.
after the Floby, whatever you call him thing.
Lobe, I remember those things. I never had one, but I do remember.
Yeah, they had a suction on them. They cut and sucked the hair.
Robin C. said that she should try cutting her husband hair with a dog clippers and see if he notices.
I guarantee you, for years, that we had a good pair of clippers, electric clippers, plug-in, good ones. And that's what we cut. We cut Buster's hair with it, and then cut my hair with it too. They finally burned up and quit working. I bet
she took more time with the dog's hair than yours.
Yeah. The only place I cut on Buster was around his privates because I didn't want him to make no accident on him and make a girl out of him.
Give him a high pitched voice, huh?
Yeah. Ooh, ooh. Yeah. I'd get in the shower. I always take a shower after I get a haircut, and I'd have much blonde hair in the bathtub as I did brown hair.
What about fleas?
Fleas in there. Come here, girl. Come here.
I think that was a fish.
That wasn't a cave in?
No, I think that was a fish. That might have been a cave in, but I think
that was a cave in. She knows it's a cave in. See how she's looking.
She's interested.
Yeah, I think a piece of dirt fell in the bank. I don't know what's up.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, my thing says tomorrow a 3-star day.
Jimmy Graham said, I want to see her groom that cat.
Oh. Yeah, he's seen Lucky before. I got a cat named Lucky, Bill.
Oh, I got you. He said he wants to see her groom that cat.
No, I can't even hardly pet that cat, much less put clippers on him. That Lucky he's a terrible kitty. I sport at least. Now I'm down to about 3 or 4 a week, but I used to sport 3 or 4 a day, cuts where he cut me. But I'm down to about 3 or 4 a week now, and he's 4 years old. So I guess by the time he's 8 years old, maybe he'll quit cutting me. But he'll be sound asleep. I can walk by him and he'll swat at me.
Really?
Yeah.
Living in your house, swatting at you.
Yeah, he ain't never figured out. I carry him up there and get his claws clipped, and it's real good after that for a while. But his claws don't retract all the way or something. But when he was younger, man, he didn't retract no claws. They was full-fledged cuts when he hit you. And don't be farting on the camera. I heard that.
That wasn't me.
That wasn't her. Because I saw you bend over.
I wasn't farting.
Boy, putting on the camera.
Oh, Lord.
Damn, and dinner time hyenas.
And pickled eggs.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, Bill, Sunday, I went on the soft diet, off the liquid diet to the soft diet. Well, Sunday morning, fairly early Sunday morning, I went up to Popeye's Chicken.
Yeah.
And I bought me 3 quarts of mashed potatoes and gravy.
3 quarts?
3 quarts. And told them to go heavy on the gravy. I'd pay extra. Man, look, when you've been drinking apple juice for 5 days, 6 days, that's apple juice and protein drinks and Sprites. Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
And man, I gobbled on 3. It took me till about 8 o'clock Sunday night to eat 3 quarts of mashed potatoes and gravy.
Wow. I like those big K drinks from Kroger. We don't. There's no Kroger around here. Walmart won't let them come in this area. So my sister-in-law works for Kroger, and so I told her, I said, if you get a chance, pick me up some big K drink so I can carry them home. I said, I like those things. So she come driving in that afternoon, and she had 6 cases of them things: grape and orange and root beer and lemon lime. And so anyway, I brought them home and put them in my outside refrigerator. Son comes out, looks in the refrigerator. He goes, "Look like you've been to Mississippi."
Yeah. Big K.
Big K.
Hey, Bill, you remember when them 2 Reed boys went to that shovel fight with 2 little old pocket knives?
Anthony Reed and
Jim. Not Jim.
yeah,
Ken.
Ken Reed. Yeah.
When they jumped on Bobby Gafford.
No, I wasn't there. I must have. Both the Reed, Anthony and Ken did.
Yeah, he jumped on Bobby Gafford in the rack. Well, they was going to jump on him. And Melvin told him, said, look, y'all carry this outside. So Bobby went out first. And you remember Gafford, he's much a man.
Yeah.
And that's was working on the towboats, a deckhand, too. He was pulling that cable. He wasn't no baby.
Right.
And he went by that 2 pickup parked right there in the front. I think Alan Ward may have been one of them. But anyway, when he went by that truck, he looked over in there because he didn't trust them. And of course, they was all drinking. And it was a rice shovel there in the back of it. He grabbed that rice shovel when Ken was back of that truck. Both of them then pulled out little old pocket knives with blades 3 inches long. And when he hit Ken with that shovel, it knocked both of them down. And the fight was over with. And Bobby would come up through the shovel back and come on back in the rack back there in the back. And Melvin, them 2 boys, them 2 Reed brothers come up there. And Melvin said, the one thing y'all got to know about fighting, he said, don't carry no pocket knife to a shovel fight. Oh, Ken didn't know what state he was in, man. Bobby done leveled him. He hit him with the flat side of the shovel. With that, what is about a 4.5, 5 foot handle on one of them.
Right.
Oh man, they're gonna cut Bobby.
Well, he died of an overdose, and Anthony lives up here in Northwest Arkansas.
Ken died of an overdose.
Yeah.
I didn't know what happened to him, but I don't doubt it.
Yeah, he. In fact, we was in Iraq one time. He borrowed some money from me. I forgot. It wasn't a whole lot, but he borrowed some money from me and told me. He said, "I'll pay you when I get. I'll pay you back when I get paid Friday." So. Get a bite, Coach?
Yeah. Well, I leave there a minute checking it. Probably got the bait off of it. Yeah, it looked bite.
Robin C said that sunset is pretty. Love the colors in the sky. That is
Yeah.
pretty.
Well, you're looking pretty much due north, Robin. The sunset's off to the left, and I'm sitting back here beside my truck. Yeah, you know, Bobby Gafford died too.
Yeah, I knew he did. Speaking of Alan, I went to see him when I came to Mississippi. He's pretty well wheelchair bound. He can walk a little bit, but he's got to use a cane. He had back surgery and foot surgery and
Right.
and just old. You know, I don't get to Greenville much. It's very rare I come.
Well, what about Lamar? Where is Lamar?
Lamar he's married. He lives in North Carolina. He works for a tobacco company doing something. I'm not sure, but he's doing well. I see him every once in a while. He'll email me or text me or something. And
Well, tell him.
I'll do it. I'll do it. You know, a lot of people that I knew, especially being my age, a lot of them had left this earth. I mean, a lot of them.
Yep. No joke.
Robin C said it's nice you have a truck so close.
It sure is. I guarantee you it is. If this river ever gets down, it won't be that nice no more.
Yeah, further to walk, huh?
Yeah, it'll be walking then, and everything's uphill.
Both ways?
It seems like it.
I tell you what, my goodness. I didn't have a lot of issues, till I hit 69, 68, 69. I hadn't been back when I had all that surgery and all that stuff. Boy, I just never recovered. My walking's not what it used to be. I used to love to walk and play golf. I can't do anything anymore much.
Yep. Been rode hard and put up with.
That's exactly right. Same thing my wife says.
Basically, except for the last 15 years of my working, I guess even coaching is pretty labor intensive because you walking and swinging that fungo bat and all that. So, but I was lucky. I grew up on the farm and worked on the farm basically my whole life. So, I, I spent a lot of time physical. I guess you call it blue collar. Well, it ain't even blue collar. It's just grunt labor.
Well, I grew up my folks' farm, but I worked at Sears. But Ray Grissett, he was a contractor for Bill Lowry, and he built Sturalls and Catwalk, and I worked for him. This has been 100 years ago, but I worked at Sears, and on my day off and on the weekends, I worked for him, and then on my vacation, I worked for him. And when you standing on a 30-foot of scaffolding on top of a grain bin punching holes in it to put track in for a Sturall 10, 12 hours a day, it'll keep you. So I was in excellent shape, and then I left Sears and I opened my donut shop. And, when you're starting out by yourself, I was going to work at 12 o'clock at night,
Right.
working to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 7 days a week. And it was hard work when you cut donuts back then. Started out doing everything by hand until, and then the business caught on, and then you want one, and you put in two, and then you get three started, and it's just I told my son at 62, I'd come in from the deer camp one Sunday, and I called him and I said, I'll be in sometime tomorrow. And he said, no, me and Mama fired you. You turned 62. You're going to draw a government check and stay home. So I did.
That's right. Well, I guess he got that bait, didn't he?
I guess so. He left it alone.
Yeah. Dadgummit.
But he did. Robin C., I think that's what I need. I tell you what.
No, you get that bait. I believe that thing just hit a stick or something. Put that out there a little bit. Get a little rod, go put it in. Oh, that same old place. I lost something. I don't know what.
You didn't break it off, did you, Steve?
Broke the weight off. Broke the weight off.
Oh, did you? Make Eric fix it for you. I'm sure he'd enjoy that downtown Ernie Brown. Downtown Ernie Brown says he'll come fish with you one day, Steve.
I did what? What Ernie Brown say?
He said he's gonna come fish with you one day.
Tell him to come on. They got plenty of room. What is way in on this thing? Damn, I don't even know if this thing he'll be able to throw that. Yeah, I can throw it. But it's heavy. Might have to pick a bunch of them up on that lead. Because I guarantee you, that's exactly where it is. When the water goes down, I'll go out there and get all my weight back.
Downtown said that if he came fishing, y'all probably get in trouble. And Robin C. said, well, just start saving up bail money.
Got him, Eric? Got something.
I don't think I need that.
That's a gar. I saw his nose.
Eric, catch a gar?
Yeah, he got a little old bitty one. He kept messing with his line. He's sitting down there squatted down holding his pole, and he got him. Take your knife and cut a piece of that gar and put on there and see what it does.
You got the needle nose, did you?
Yeah, I do have some needle nose.
Back up.
Still around there.
Quit. Leave it off the wall. Friday night, mine ended up going inside with me, and I got. Look at me.
Just for curiosity's sake. Can you hull him out at all? You hull him and get some of that just pure meat. You got that. And look here, them clippers in the back of the truck. Them limb loppers. Hey, Gray Wolf.
Yeah, I was just going to tell you, Gray Wolf said, hey.
Yeah, the sun is down there, and the phone came back on where I can see.
I got you. All right, I'm fixing to head up and get some supper, Steve. It's nice visiting with you, my friend. I'll try to get back on here in a little while.
See you later, dude.
All right, bye-bye. Y'all catch a bunch.
Yeah, thank you for coming up.
Yes, sir.
All right, now I don't know if anybody else wants to come up here or not. If there's any moderators in here and they can go back up and find that link, maybe they bring it down and pay, cut and pay, copy and paste, maybe. Oh, I guess I can put it back in here. I don't know if I got any moderators or not. I don't know who all is and who isn't. We're finna try a piece of cut gar for bait. We're gonna see how that works. Hey, Tech. Get some of that blood that's on that gut part of it.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Did you hear me say the limb loppers in the?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Get that quit.
All right, Robin C. Robin C. This is for your benefit. That's right at the sun.
Quit.
Hey, your sunset, young lady. Thank you, Robin C. I appreciate that. That's out over. That's looking out over the Mississippi River, straight at Arkansas. I don't know. Get a bloody part if you can find some blood in it. A bloody part, huh? Blood. Some with some guts in it. All right, I'm gonna set it back down. You find some a steak?
Not really.
What about the guts?
I ain't really pushed.
You ain't got that far along yet.
I got it cut open. cut open, but somehow or another he stole my blade.
Oh. Yeah, like God, tough now. It ain't nothing but scale, like a suit of armor. I wonder if these mosquitoes gonna come out. I bet they do, and I better get that thumb straight.
I was trying to find something that was good and bloody, and I couldn't find it. Never use what you try. Well, I can tell you, this flatheads hate God. They hate God. They hate God. They hate us. They don't like us, so them God try to raise their net. Yeah, they don't like God at all. Mm. Something bit me on my knee. I think I got bit by a spider Saturday.
I'm gonna cut this thing off. I hope. There it comes.
Yeah.
Robin C., what state are you located in? Or have you said? Besides the state of confusion. Can you see that left pole?
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I slid the chair around just a little bit.
Okay. Well, you can move all the way up here if you want to.
I'm good.
You're fine. Michigan. Okay. Michigan. All right. Let's see. Michigan State. What's Michigan State? Are you a Wolverine or I can't remember what Michigan State is. What am I sitting on? It's so uncomfortable. Oh, that blue rat. I thought I had. What I was sitting on? Spartans. Yeah, Michigan State. Husband is a Wolverine. How about that? Split household. I don't know. Boy, I know the humidity didn't run up there to the top.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna rain. It's got to rain.
Oh, it's already done that today.
There's a 40,000 foot thunderhead right up yonder.
Huh.
Maybe 50,000. It's storming wherever that is. That's a long ways off, but it's sure storming.
Yeah.
That's a big old top on that storm.
Well, the phone said we had 1% chance of rain today, and we got it.
Yeah, it rained east of Greenville.
Yeah, for about 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see it out there. Bite? Well, I don't know, Ernie. I do a lot of fishing, not much catching. I tell you, we kind of running out of bait here. We got these little old goldfish we got. Of course, they stay alive forever. When I tell you, Kenneth Powell, I, I always in his current, I always hooked them in the eyes so they'd be facing the current. But Kenneth turned me on to hooking them through the nose up there, sideways through the nose, and man, I like that. They stay alive forever. In fact, they don't ever die. What is all that racket in them weeds up there?
Out there in the mouth.
But I don't know. These goldfish have gotten so little that we at one point here about a week ago we getting some 3 or 4 inch goldfish, but now they done got down to an inch and a half, 2 inches, and I'm not sure they make enough put enough scent out there and make enough noise for them to attract them. I don't know. We got to get back on the brim regime. Or find some big goldfish somewhere.
I made my mind up this evening. I took Dogan last night and told Dogan that I was just getting off work and wasn't able to get out there yesterday, but I'd be out there this evening as soon as I got off. And I get out there tonight and he ain't even set a trap in the water.
Oh well.
So if my pipe ain't in tomorrow, I'm just gonna load up after work. Gonna load up after work. I'm gonna go out there and sit and hand catch.
Well, if you get too many, bring some of them to the house, because after the night, after all these goldfish we've used, I got those 3 tanks, and you got a tank, and we ought to be able to hold 20 or 30 pretty easy. I think I forgot what I was fixing to tell you. Oh, I'm gonna go by the fish market in the morning and see if they got any carp, and buy a carp. I don't know if they sell carp in the fish market. Do you?
No, I don't think I've never been into a fish market. I don't think.
Well, I have, but it's been years and years and years ago. I mean, over 30 years. And I don't remember what was in there. But now they tell me that carp is good bait. Now, I never used a skipjack cut bait for us. Cut bait skipjack's the only thing I've ever used. A few brim and a lot of shad.
I want to say I caught some blues. I caught some blues and all using cut carp and draw 'em.
Well, I don't care. If I just catch a fish, it don't make me much difference. But we on the bottom end of the bait scale here now.
Yeah.
With these little old bitty goldfish. And in the water, those you brought out here the other day, oh, in the water, them look like big old, look like good, nice goldfish. But when they pull them out of the water, they ain't but an inch and a half, 2 inches long. They had me fooled. Yeah, it's all about the fishing, Robin. See, everybody likes to catch a fish or two along the way, but yeah, we got tanks with filters and all on them where we can keep live bait at home. You know, if we get through fishing, we carry it home, put it back in the tank, and if we catch some bluegills or whatever, we can put them in the tank, keep them alive. 15-gallon tank. And Eric now he got a 33-gallon tank. All of mine, I got two 15s and a 10. We're gonna use light sticks, or we're gonna stay that long.
I don't know. I was going. What time is
Oh man, it's 8:30 Central Time, or close to it.
it? I thought it was stay till 9:30 or something.
Well, we'll
I
just.
didn't get to fish none this weekend.
I didn't either. Yeah, we just go to Walmart and buy them aquarium filters and plug in the wall, you know, and hang them on the side of a tank, and they'll keep bait alive. I think the rule is 1 inch per gallon of water. So if you got a 15-gallon tank, you can keep 10, 15. Well, you about 5 or 6, 8, pretty good size brim, bluegill. Now these goldfish, it don't matter because they can live in a bowl on the kitchen table, you know. So, but brim, you gotta bluegills, you gotta have a little bit of oxygen in there for them, and you have to change out a little bit of the water along. Now, yeah, it's 8:27 our time. We're gonna fish about another hour. It sounds like. Well, you're going to have to use a light stick because you got poles scattered up and down the bank. We're getting a skillet. Yeah, they pretty good eating. Well, them light sticks are right here behind me on the front seat.
All right.
They're over here behind me now.
Yeah, I know. I'm putting the flag on up there.
Don't use a yellow one. Use them old red ones.
What?
Oh, well, you're not getting a light stick?
Yeah, I fixed it.
Yeah. Use them old red ones. So we ain't going to be out here that long. We'll save them yellow ones for late night.
Yeah.
Can you get in there? They on the front seat. I think. Just use them where we can just enough for you to see them.
You buy another pack?
No. Them waves slicing up. Scared that dog to death. Look. Come on, Angel. Them waves slopping up on that bank. She's stroking out, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and then she was running from it and ran over that net, and I thought she was gonna leave here.
Got a head standing up.
Yeah, man. And waves are sloshing up on that bank, it's driving her crazy. That thing gonna get you. Angel. Angel, come here. Calm down. We ain't gonna let that water get you. Yeah, I agree. Here, fishy. Yep. Boy, it's gonna storm here in the next 10, 12 hours. You can stir this air with a knife. Cut it with a knife. My skin feel like it's an inch thick. Did that gar feel pretty tough?
What?
Did that gar meat feel pretty tough when you put it on that hook?
Yeah, it was all right. Now, I got it in some ribs.
Okay.
Where's the tape at?
Around there in that brown bag. Well, I don't know why you won't take one of those holders on there. Too much like the right thing to do. The holder's in that little bag in the top of the box. And that way all you got to do is just stick it in there.
Well, one of them I did, one of them I didn't.
Oh.
Or I did and it just come on off. Quit.
Well, I'm just going to leave mine out without it and use my headlight to shine on it a little bit. Okay, Ernie, thank you for stopping in, bud. Appreciate it, man. Have a good night. Tell Chrissy I said hello.
No.
Man, you catch a fish on that gar, we'll be gathering him up, putting him on this ice over here. Well, it don't get much fresher bait than that.
No. 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 I never thought about putting gar on hook.
Well, any kind of fresh bait. It can't hurt to try it. I believe I just soon have gar on there that had these little bitty goldfish. I believe that harbor boat coming out with a barge.
Probably is.
Or coming out. I don't know if he got a barge or not.
They pounding up right around all night.
They do a little of that now. Huh?
Hands is running in the bowl.
No, bring that lighter.
Like what?
The lighter. All I got's a habit.
I had a bowl bounce.
Doesn't bounce?
No, earlier I was over there at the bowl. I don't know. I really do believe the rod's messing them up.
I don't know. I just you just got to go fishing. That's all.
That's right.
You want one? Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you just got to go fishing. Fish when you can. We didn't get to fish Saturday or Sunday. Did you get any rest?
No. I worked 30 hours this weekend.
I know, but what about Sunday evening?
I got home at 8 o'clock.
Oh gosh, man.
Oh, only good thing I got out of it was I stopped at the grocery store on my way home last night and bought me and her a steak, her some a pigtail, me some sausage. And I went home and grilled steak and sausage and ate.
Angel, you have a pigtail for supper and a steak.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that dog eats better than I do. Because I don't know about pigtail.
I'm not eating pigtail.
No, that ain't no harbor boat. That's a big boat coming down the river. They coming fighting that curve down there. I believe that's a big toe. His motor's way back up yonder. Yeah, Eric believes that this rise got these fish messed up. I don't know. Mine eat quail, rabbits, and chickens. Lord have mercy. Y'all take care of y'all, that animal. Yeah, look at that. There's the front of the barge right there, Eric. Yeah. That's a big one. Oh. Now that's a little harbor boat out front of it.
There?
Yeah, that's a little boat.
Yeah.
Is that the noise I hear?
I don't know. It sounds like they're going up in the lake.
I know one thing. I got to cut this light out. reckon that's that boat out here with all that racket back up in y'all. I guess I can lay this pole and lay this light out there by it. These bugs are coming to this light. I ain't gonna crank his generator up. No, that ain't a harbor boat, I don't guess.
No, that's just a small boat.
You barely can't see him on here. I laid this light out there, but I'm scared she'd grab it and run with it. I would if I was her. Wonder if I can lay it on the hood of the truck.
Oh yeah.
Do it like that. Bugs won't be on it. There they are. See them down now.
My uncle told me years ago that he might always crappie. And he said crappie wouldn't bite in these oxbows and all that on the ride. And every time I fished out here on the rise, the fishing's always been really slow.
Well, all I can go by is when I used to fish in bamboo poles stuck in the bank.
I've heard about them.
Yeah, buddy. Man, we wear flatheads out on a ride. But you had to run. You had to go out at night, right at dark, and fish them about 3 or 4 feet deep. Bait them up right about this. Well, a little earlier than this. Keep it golf and getting all your bait,
Yeah.
And we catch enough flatheads in 2 nights that we can put them in the freezer. To be 2 of us doing it. Put out 15 pole, bamboo pole, and of course we always did it at the end of June. We didn't ever do it the 1st of June. I don't know. I kind of water. Did I tell you I checked the water temperature? You know what the water temperature is? What would you get?
80.
78. Oh, flatheads are spawning, I believe. And they up in them woods over there.
And the water's almost out of these woods, ain't it?
Yeah, but over yonder it ain't.
I can't throw that far.
No, me either. I believe they spawned at 78.
Might be. But I mean, usually by the end of June, the river's usually pretty stable.
Yeah, but it ain't gonna be this year.
I don't know. It might go on fall out after this rise.
Hell, we gonna get a rise behind. You didn't look at the weather today. And it's flooding in Kentucky and southern Missouri and southern Illinois and northern Tennessee.
So we gonna get a summer flood.
Well, I don't think it's gonna amount to a flood, but the water gonna stay up like this for quite a while. And plus, you heard what Bill said about no, you wasn't here yet. The reservoir, Beaver Lake over there where he lives, the reservoir was up to out of sight.
Oh, Lord.
And all that water comes down the Arkansas River. All that water comes in up there at Rosedale. And then I don't want to lose my thermometer. They talking about castable thermometers. I got one. I've had that thing for I don't know how many years. I didn't cast it out and sink it to the bottom. I just threw it out there and let it fall. And stayed about 2 or 3 minutes. Showed 78.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're gonna do. Is go to the shallow spas, right?
Yeah, up in them woods and up in them ditches and things. And back over here up on all them big barges.
Yeah.
We got to figure out a way to fish over there.
Well, there is a way to fish over there, but it's not easy.
That's what I can drive my truck up that hill, can you?
You might get up the hill, but I don't know if you gonna get back out of there.
Hell, there's a concrete road up on top of it, the levee. That's the end of Theobald Street. That's where those.
Yeah, but they've got a log across it.
Well, I got a tow
Well, I
rope.
mean, I don't know how far down it goes.
Take that tow rope and pull that log out of the way.
She's chasing bugs.
But I know it'd be some walking from that road on out there to the water, to that little sand point.
That's a pretty good walk.
That's a pretty good walk across there. We'll have to get CP.
I don't know. I hadn't walked back there. in a while. It's been a few years since I walked back there, so I'll put my boots on one day and some long pants.
Damn snakes too, man.
Probably.
I don't know. I think we're about to stick to fishing out here.
But I mean, normally, if I'm gonna fish like that, I'll go back and go as soon as I can get down to the water. Get down to the water and I'll walk the bank around.
Oh yeah, like at the end of the road down there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I just believe it's got to be some good flatheads up on all them barges back there. Hell, they've been there ever since I've been in Graham.
The barges?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I moved here in
I don't think they hardly ever moved them barges.
They can't move them. They got trees growing up on them, on top of them. I moved here in 1980, and there was some barges back there then, and they've added more through the years. That's 1980. That's
42 years.
That's 42 years that them barges been back.
I was born in 1980.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be some flatheads on there that can't even swim. They're so big. They just stuck to the bottom. And have you ever been around them barges in a boat and seen all them brim?
Yeah.
I mean, they ain't got to do nothing but just open their mouth.
That's right.
I can't imagine why it wouldn't be some flatheads back there.
If we can get back there.
I just wonder, I see people out on those barges working, doing stuff. I just wonder if it's people.
Well, those are just grade barges. That's just part of the fleet.
No, they don't. Them barges are what do you call
Are
it?
you talking about these along this bank right here?
I'm talking about back up in this hole.
Yeah. Or on the backside?
Yeah, past the
across from producers?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
But I see people out there. If I could figure out who owned all that, I'd ask them, could we go out there and fish? It may be a good friend of mine for all I know. Or yours, or somebody we know.
I doubt
but it's people.
I doubt it because I just live at Greenville. I don't know nobody.
Well, look, man. Yeah, I know. Well, look, it's people go out there every morning. I've been back there skipjack fishing and all. People go out on them barges, on a couple of them every morning, and do something. And I don't know exactly what they're doing.
Ain't no telling.
I never figured out what that was. I tell you, I bet I could check with it. Brown Jacobs. I bet he knows. Or Barry Alderman. I bet he knows. But now, if you was out there and you landed a big flathead, I don't know how would you ever get him up on one of them bodies?
I don't know.
I know they got a gangplank that goes out there. Okay, Robin C., I thank you for stopping in, young lady. Have a good night. I do appreciate it. But you know, fishing from the bank back there, it's a catwalk that goes out there to those bodies.
Uh-huh.
And I was over there catching skipjacks one time. Them skipjacks spawned back in that hole.
Yeah, there ought to be plenty of fish back there then.
Yeah, and I was back there catching skipjacks and brim. I was catching both. I had crickets and I had my sabiki rig. And I was over there close to that catwalk. And I looked up on that bank. I was out there 10, 15 yards, and it was a cottonmouth crawling up that bank. And a fellow walked out on that catwalk, and I hollered at him. I said, "Look down by that bank. Look right down there below you." And he looked down there, and he turned around and went back off of that catwalk and came back, and he cut loose with 22 rifles. He must have shot 53 times. He ate that snake. He ate that. It was a big old cottonmouth too, man. He ate that snake up with that 22 rifle. He pulled the trigger and just kept pulling. He had mud flying and everything. He blew a hole in the ground with a 22. But he got that snake. He was a monster.
We saw, I don't know if it was a snake or what, but there's a Indian bottle, I think is the name of it, that runs, I guess that's north, uh, right there past the catfish place on 82.
Catfish
Yeah,
place.
the catfish feed.
Oh place. Yeah, that's Indian bottle. That's
we was out there fishing. We did a job out there, and we would stop at the end of the day and fish. And I mean, we saw something out there. That sucker, it looked like the Loch Ness monster.
Mm-hmm.
It was so big that it was 300-400 yards away. We couldn't really tell, but it looked all. It had every indication it was a snake.
That could have been one of them amphihumas.
That
amphihuma, big old. It got front legs. It's not an eel. It's a souped up mud puppy.
Okay.
I forget what you call them things. Is it a
salamander?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a salamander or not.
I mean, it was swimming across the bayou, looked just like a snake. That's like it looked that big around.
Yes, ma'am. I thank you, Robin C. Nice meeting you too, young lady. Well, look here. Do you know what Indianola means in Indian in Choctaw? Indian bayou. It does. I'm not joking. Indian, it runs right through downtown Indianola.
Yeah.
Boy, I have found some nice Civil War stuff on the other side of Indianola, between there and the Sunflower River. Eric, there's a grave out there. We didn't have permission. We just parked and went out there in the cotton field. Cotton was about 7-8 inches high. It's been long years ago. On a Sunday morning, we was on that big sandy ridge where 82 crosses the Sunflower out there.
Uh-huh.
That used to be Garvin's Ferry back in the Civil War days in the 1800s. Garvin Garvin's Ferry. And it wasn't exactly where the bridge is, but just the ferry was just a little south of where the highway crosses now, maybe a quarter of a mile. But all them sandy ridges, I told Willie, I said, man, there's got to be the ridge they came out of there on, because they traveled ridges back in them days, especially in the Delta. That's the only place they could travel and live. And anyway, we hunted. We was meditating. Found a few things, some fairly nice items, and I said, I'm gonna go down here by the bow. And I walked down there by that bow, and I looked out there in the weeds, and there was a graveyard down there next to the bow. I said, well, I'll be doggone. And I walked through the weeds and got out there, and it was a gravestone, and I can't remember the dates on it. I think the guy was buried in 19. Seemed to me like 1917, 19.
Wow.
It was either during World War I or World War II. I can't remember, but it was old, and it was a concrete. The headstone was made out of concrete, made at home out of concrete, and all the writing was with marbles.
Oh,
Stuck in the concrete while it was wet.
that's pretty neat.
Yeah. And look, man, it had some high dollar marbles in it. I mean, it wasn't no cat eyes, it wasn't none of that crap. It was all old marbles. And I tell you, I ain't no rogue at all, but it was hard for me not to
Take a marble.
take a marble, a marble.
Oh, you want the whole headstone? Huh?
Well, golly, it was. I bet it was over $1,000 worth of marbles in that concrete. And they still out there. I left them. I didn't even tell Willie. Willie was out in the field. I didn't even tell him because I know what he'd have done. He'd have got all them marbles. But they were stuck. They had it stuck down in that when it was wet. When the concrete was wet, had it stuck down about halfway of a marble. But all the writing on that gravestone is made out of marble with marbles.
I might took the time doing that.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty neat. That's the only one I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've never seen one like that.
I think about that pretty regular, and I know exactly where it is. But I believe that's just like digging up bones, man. You can go to hell for doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, you can go to hell for doing that kind of stuff.
Well, if you got any family still living around.
No, I doubt it, but that don't matter. You got your own conscience you got to deal with. Look, we were over in Yazoo County, and I found a shoe tap, a heel tap. And in the old days, all the soles of boots, in the Civil War days, the boots and shoes and all had wooden heels on. And so they put copper or brass heel taps on with a little copper nail to keep the wood from wearing down on the heels of the boot. Well, yeah, I found 5 or 6 through the years, and they're all different and unique. But anyway, this one was a military issue heel tap, and we found a few bullets and 2 or 3 pocket knives, and we started searching bigger area. We knew the history of the little battle that took place there, and what it was some local, I forget what they call them, militia, I guess, Mississippi, Yazoo County soldiers that didn't go to war. They stayed at home guarding.
Home guards?
Yeah, like, home guard. And it was 13 of them killed in this battle. 13 of the home guard was killed. We was back in the woods, kept going, just steady swinging, looking. And I came up on cedar about an inch thick, stuck in a line, and they were just squares, just about 4 inches wide, and they were just stuck in a line like little cedar planks in a row.
Cemetery?
I don't know exactly how it like a cedar 1x8s, 1x7s, 1x6s, something like that. Just a line of them, but they cedar. Cedar don't rot.
That's right.
I looked at them and I said, I wonder, that's weird. Got to looking around. And these soldiers had on Confederate uniforms. They were supplied by not Joseph E. Johnson, but John C. Pemberton in Vicksburg. They were supplied with Confederate uniforms. This Yazoo County Home Guard.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all in, you can read all the history of it in the Yazoo County history and different history. But anyway, so they had Confederate uniforms on, even though they were home guard. They stayed because Yazoo County.
They probably were still Confederate soldiers.
Oh, they were Confederate soldiers, but they were important because Yazoo County is just above Warren County. See, right. and Vicksburg was one of the most important places in the Civil War down this way. Well, anyhow, I got to looking at things. I got to count. There was 13 of them in a row. 13 of them in a row. So I got down about middle ways, about number 6 and number 7, and scratched around in the dirt and the leaves in the woods, and I dug up the crawfish. It was about 3/4 way rotten crawfish. I went and scratched around and found another one. That's where them 13 soldiers was buried. Those 13 Confederate home guards, Yazoo County home guards. And Jackie, my hunting buddy, I hollered at him. He was across there. I hollered. He finally got over there to me. I said, "Look at him, buddy." I said, "We got a decision to make." And he counted them things. He looked at them 3 or 4 cross pieces I had dug up. He said, "That's the 13 soldiers." I said, "That's them, buddy. That's them. They buried them right here. This is where they
buried them when they fell, probably."
No, well, no. They finally, after the battle, after the little skirmish, they came back, and that's where they buried them. They buried them, right there where they in the little. And we found the little valley, the little gully that they was hiding in, and everything. We found some bullets there, so we knew we done found where the Yankees chased them, and they turned and got in that gully. Back in them days, it probably wasn't no more than a little old ditch.
Yeah, probably.
But erosion through the years and washed it out to a kind of a little gully about 3 or 4 feet deep, and they were buried right behind it, right behind that little gully, on a little knoll. Oh, man. And we sat there and we kind of we just had a solemn day, a solemn little sit down to think about what those guys went through. But there's 13 Confederate uniforms right there with the buttons and everything on them.
Y'all dig up the graves?
Oh, no.
Were they on the planks?
No, they were buried in their uniform.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. Their compadres may have took the coats and everything, buried them naked for all we know. But them buttons, each one of those buttons would have been, each one of them buttons about $400 to $500.
Damn.
And if they were Mississippi buttons, they probably worth $1,000, $1,400 a piece.
Oh, wow.
And they got about 8 on a coat. Yeah, there's a fortune laying there if they got the uniforms on, but we didn't dig it up. And I hope he never went back. I don't think he would have. He wasn't. I don't think he would have done it. But he did get to trading in artifacts for a few years. But he was buying and reselling. I don't think he was. Yeah, man. That metal detecting is an interesting hobby, and you just don't ever know what you're going to stumble up on. You just don't ever know. But, as far as finding a button out here in one of these cornfields, cotton fields, it don't bother me a bit to pick it up, but I ain't going to dig up no grave.
Yeah. Well, you said they had their uniform. They were buried in the uniform.
Well, I say they would have been. Most of the time they would have been. But, in the South, by 1863 and a half, 1864, everything was tough down here. So they may have taken their clothes off of them and used their clothes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know whether they had the uniforms on or not, but if early in the war, they would have buried them in their uniform.
bite.
Yeah, well, it's just that way. You can't blame us for trying.
No.
We got to do something about bait. I mean,
I'd ask Doug. I expect Doug to have a trap out for me because I texted him last night and told him I was just getting off at 8 o'clock, and all that I just wasn't able to get out there last night. I said, but as soon as I get off of work, I said I'm headed that way today, and he said okay. I got out there. I walked around the pond. I didn't see nothing. I tried calling him to see if he had set one. No answer. Sent him a text. No answer. So, just so I know for a fact that I got brim, we got brim, I'm going to go out there and catch them over right on the pole.
well, if I could ever get up early enough in the morning, I'd go away to the waterfront and I could get us 8 or 10 off of them women down there. Yeah, so, hey, Brian B. Hey, boy, you can't fish. Brian B., now that's a dadgum lie. You know I can fish. I just don't catch. I just don't catch. I fish good. I just don't catch. It's looking bad for us tonight. It sure is. I think we're a little slack on the bait. A goldfish ain't but about 1.5 inches long. 2 inches at the longest. And we ain't gonna be here much longer. Because my partner got to work in the morning. And I got to water the azaleas in the morning. Man, what a rough life I live. What's that? I can't see. Oh, okay.
Right.
But there, we just not much going on. Not much at all. Hard for me to believe it's 19 people in here
Yeah.
watching us do nothing. And that's exactly what we done is nothing. The thing about these little old bitty goldfish, if you get one little old bitty tap and you don't happen to be looking right at your pole,
That's right.
and if it don't hook up, you know, it's over with. And you sitting there fishing on the credit.
Uh-huh.
And which I wouldn't doubt I ain't fishing on the credit. But I'm gonna tell you what, when I reel them up this time,
They going in the back of
they
the truck.
going in the back of the truck. We're hearing some good stuff. Oh, you listening to my stories? How about that? Yeah, Jimmy Graham, I love the Civil War and metal detecting. Even though I hadn't done much in the last since August, they damn fishing and took up all my time. Seems like. Notice I did say fishing, not catching. That was in Yazoo County. I did. I got my name in the Yazoo County Historical Society papers over there. That was a pretty good skirmish. It was 600 Yankees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and 125 Confederates.
We were slightly outnumbered.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell it. I'll just tell this story, and then we probably gonna have to be time to pack up.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna use the names of the places that actually took place, but the uh, the Yankees, the 600 Yankees, marched out of Yazoo City, Mississippi, headed south toward Jackson, Mississippi, and there was a church, and I'm gonna call it. Let's see, what's the name of a good church? Uh, Mount Olive. Mount Olive Baptist Church. That sounds good, don't it? There was a church named Mount Olive Baptist Church, and the Confederates, 125 strong, and they were cavalry. Now the Confederates were cavalry, and the Yankees were on foot. Somebody killed that, please. The Yankees were on foot. They were armed. Well, the Confederates pulled up at Mount Olive Church to take them a cool break. They were just out scouting, and they sent a few folks up the road. Well, when they got up the road, they could hear them Yankees coming up the road marching, with all that gear on and everything. And they turned around and rode back and told the colonel or whatever it was. He said, "There's a force coming up the road out there," and they were in the cemetery at the church. Had a well there. Hey, David. They had a well there, and they was all watering the horses and getting the water and laid it out by just taking a break. And so they immediately.
Where you going? Where you going?
The road is on the ridge. So immediately the Confederate commanding officer sent 50 of his troops around the gully, the valley there beside the ridge at a full gallop, to get down there. And they rode about a 3/4 mile, and they stopped and tied their horses up, and they started climbing up that ridge where you could see that road. Well, they're on the right side of this road, and the Yankees are marching up the road towards them. And they got 75 Confederates laying in the bushes right there beside the road. And they let them walk on by. And it was a small farm there. It wasn't a big farm. It's right on top of that ridge. It wasn't a big farm. It's about 300 yards from that church. In fact, from that farm, from the top of that ridge, you can see the church real easy. And so the rest of the Confederates they had a small cannon. They set all that up right there beside the church, in the churchyard, aiming down that road. And it had 4 outhouses. Actually, they were slave quarters. They had 4 of them. And they were 20 foot by 20 foot houses. Okay? And the Confederate guy had sent his soldiers, and they were at the end of them slave quarters. So when the Yankees got up there, and they had 75 behind them and 25 right in front of them, 50, and then they had the ones on the cannon back there. They opened fire. Well, the first thing that the Yankees did was run over and get behind them houses. At least 300 or 400 of them got behind them 20 houses. Well, there was already 30 or 40 Confederates
in the houses.
20 foot from them houses. Them houses are 20 foot long, and there was 15, 25 Confederates on one end of the 20 foot, and there was 300 Yankees on the other end of the 20 foot behind them houses trying to get away from that cannon fire. And the other 75 come up over the hill on that road, and there was a hell of actually a slaughter. But anyway, we had all that. It's all documented. It's all on, in the official records. And we hunted for Mount Olive Baptist Church. We hunted and we found it. Big old brand new brick church. And we talked to some other people, and they said, "Yeah, that's the only Mount Olive church we know about. Yeah, that's got to be Mount Olive. That's got to be." Well, it didn't match up, to the official records.
Uh-huh.
And one day we saw this little side road off of the blacktop, and we turned down it, and we went down there, and there was old Mount Olive Baptist Church, still active, little wooden church. We sat there in the front yard of that church in the driveway and looked, and ever we could see the battle. I said, "Jackie, this can't be true." So it was a little house, one of them Jim Walter homes, sitting up on the hill there, where them slave quarters would have been. I said, "We got to go talk to this lady, or to these people." He said, "Man," I said, "I'll talk to them." So we went up, and we didn't walk up on the porch. We just tapped on the floor of the porch. And I guarantee you, this lady that opened that door, she must have been at least 85 years old. "Can I help y'all?" "Yes, ma'am." And I introduced myself. I said, "We're looking for a Civil War battle, and we think it took place right here where your garden is, right over there." She had a big garden. It still had some collard greens that done gone to seed at least 4 or 5 years in a row. They're as tall as collards ever. So she said, "I've been here since 1922, and there ain't been no battle here." I said, "Ma'am," I said, "I'm talking about in the Civil War, way back there." And she told us about her great grandfather. Some had fought in the Civil War and all. I said, "We metal detect," because she didn't know what that was. I said, "But we look for artifacts from different battle sites, and we think it was a little battle right here in where your garden's sitting, right over there, about 75 yards from my house." I said, "Do you mind if we get out there and look?" And she says, "No, it don't bother me. Y'all going out there and look." There wasn't nothing there, except from old college. And Eric, you got to listen to this. 20 feet apart, exactly 20 feet apart, we found 500 bullets that had not been shot. We found, I'm going to say, 320 feet, and then 20 feet on the Confederate side, we found 200. Where they was fumbling and dropping them bullets, trying to load them. They're shooting at 20 feet.
Yeah.
And you can imagine, there's 300 against 25 right there, of course. And all that down the road there, about 200 yards, all them Confederates coming up over that hill on them others. And it was we dug over 500 bullets, and they were 20 feet apart. Yes, sir. Over 500. So, and that's me and one guy. So I said, "Lord have mercy, look at him." And we dug them all, and none of them been fired. That's what they call drops.
Yeah.
So we had all them bullets on the tailgate of my truck. He had his pile, I had my pile. I said, "Jackie, let's go over here and talk to this lady." So we put I laid a coat over all them bullets, keep them rolling off. We drove back up and knocked on her porch again, and she came out. And I forget that lady's last name, but anyway, we said, "Ma'am, we found all these bullets down here." And she said, "Oh no, I ain't nobody been hunting down here." This is just somebody. And anyway, we said, "We'd like to give you some of these bullets." She said, "Well, I don't have no use for them." I said, "You got any children?" She said, "I love them." And thank the Lord, they're all still alive. I said, "Well, how many grandchildren you got?" And I don't remember, like 45 grandchildren. And 30 great grandchildren, 20 I don't remember. But anyway, we counted out 120 something bullets for her to give each one of her grandchildren and great grandchildren and children a bullet. And I still had 2 coffee. Them Folgers, them Tasty Choice glass coffee cans. Still had 2 of them plumb full, and had to give some of them away. But that was in one afternoon.
Yeah.
500. Can you imagine 500? You'd get a signal and dig one up, it'd be 4.
You gotta take me one day.
Well, it ain't always like that.
Oh, I know it ain't always.
But anyway, the next week we went to the Yazoo County Historical Society, and both of us gave them 10 rounds, and so they could document the battle in the county, in the Historical Society. And what did Abbott say? Steve, make me a mod and I can help. Well, you're not a mod in here, Abby? And I do it every time I go home. I will, Abby. I'll do it. I'll tend to it.
I say we call it a night, Coach.
Yeah, we finna shut it down. It's over with.
I gotta go home, find something to eat, go to bed.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna bite.
They ain't doing nothing for us. All right, y'all.
Have a good night.
Y'all have a good night. I appreciate everybody coming in. See y'all later. Night night. I'll tend to it, Abby. Don't worry about it.
What's this shit?
What? Wait a minute. You getting a bite? You get a pull down? Oh, you have an optical conclusion.
Very possible.
Thank you, Jimmy. Yep, I'm gonna go on and shut it down. Don't make Albert a mod. He got to earn his stripes. No, I won't do him that way, Brian B. Y'all have a go.